So, good news and bad news. Bad news, as it sounds like things are escalating with the war, which does not make anybody happy. The positive side to this is that I have been trading a couple oil stocks and they're doing quite well. I'm in BATL, which is zooming up right now. Although I did make a little bit of a mistake with this yesterday. It was up and I sold half my position before it closed after hours. I should have sold the whole position because it had a big drop this morning, so I was kind of stuck. I did buy a little bit more when it was down at like 160. It's now up to 214. And this thing has run up to like $20 in the past. I don't know if that's going to happen this time around. Since the war has been going on for a while, if there's a major escalation, this thing will pop off. Good morning, Morris. Welcome. I am just going to adjust a setting really quick. There we go. So that's the bad and good news. I am very excited because yesterday, hold on, let me grab a swab. Hold that thought. No peeking. Okay. Now, I'm very excited because yesterday I finished booking all my accommodations for my trip. And I can tell you, I am staying at 18 different places, and I can tell you it was quite a freaking ordeal to book all those places. So, and one of them, after I booked it, I was just checking them and it was coming back that they didn't allow pets. And Mo is coming with me. So then I had to message them and they said it was seasonal and that pets aren't allowed at the time I'm there. And I said, well, it said pets were allowed at the time I booked it. And I was able to prove it to them. And so they allowed me. That was bullshit. Maybe an issue on the website's end. I don't know. But anyways, I'm all booked. I am very excited. It's going to be a little bit of a whirlwind. I was originally hoping to stay at each place a little bit longer, but for many reasons, I'm only staying a couple days in each location. I'm really excited about the places I'm staying. I'm staying in, let's see, nice hotels, of course, but also a couple tiny houses because it's just me and Mo. We don't need a lot of space. With I booked some very unique places. One place is a cute little houseboat. That's going to be lovely. As well as a couple cabins. Yes, a couple little cabins out in the woods. So the first half of the trip is mostly along the coast. Good morning, Ravine. The first part of the trip is mostly along the Northeast coast, some major cities, Newark, Washington, D.C. The way back is mostly out in the wilderness. That's the part I'm most excited about. This is a working trip. I do still plan on live streaming as much as possible when the traveling allows me to, and then also day trading. So I do plan on kind of. Why is there hair there? Probably because there's hair everywhere. I have a lot of hair. Good morning, Matt. So this isn't just like entirely a vacation. It is going to be quite busy, and since I will be moving locations frequently, I do wish I've had a couple subs offer to come with me and carry my bags and stuff, but I've video chatted with both of them, so I've seen them, but I haven't actually met them in person. So I would feel a little uncomfortable, going on a road trip with somebody I've never met. Even if it was a submissive to carry my bags. So, which would be nice, to be honest. That is something I'm not looking forward to, carrying all my shit around. It'd be one thing if I was staying in just a couple places, but in and out with all my stuff And I travel with a lot of shit. Maybe I'll do a video with all the shit that I'm packing. I wouldn't say I'm an overpacker. I think most people would probably say I am an overpacker. I don't know if this goes back to being a Capricorn, but like I think of everything. Like I've started a list already, of course. Lists, schedules, I think that's probably a typical Capricorn thing to do. But I'm going to be doing a lot of activities. So, I got to pack stuff like we're going to go kayaking at some point. He's not listening, thankfully. He didn't hear it. He might go crazy if he heard it. But we are going to go kayaking maybe once or twice. So I got to pack Mo's little life jacket. You know what I mean? So stuff like that. We got to have all the things. I definitely want to bring a portable fan since I get hot at night. I did try to get most places with air conditioning. I think some places in Vermont, you don't necessarily need it. Some places don't have air conditioning. That's how California was too. But I do get very hot at night when I sleep. So I'm going to bring a little fan. I'm probably going to end up bringing my treadmill. It's pretty small. And although I will do quite a bit of walking, I don't know. Maybe I'll bring the treadmill, but maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just bring it and it'll end up sitting in my car most of the time. As someone who works out every day, that's a big part of scheduling, even vacations. I schedule in my workouts. So I want to make sure that I get enough exercise because I'll also be in the car a lot. It's a lot of driving. So still have a lot to do to prepare for this trip. I will be gone for a month. Just a reminder to keep your comments respectful or you will no longer be allowed to speak. I'll be gone for an entire month, so that involves a lot of preparation. I have to take my car to the shop and get it, some things updated with it, maintenance, whatnot. So it's quite the process. Sarah says, I believe in you. Okay. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Thank you for believing in me. And she says, you are amazing. Thank you for that. So I'm very excited about this trip. I'll be posting the full schedule if somebody, I do have at least 2 other people who are wanting to do sessions, in-person sessions. So I'll be posting that. Obviously, I've already booked my accommodations at this point, so I'm not going to be going out of my way to go to wherever subs are. I already have been offering that for weeks, and I did have a couple subs. I was able to accommodate them, getting close to their cities. But at this point, I've already booked everything. So if I'm close to you and you want to come to me, then where I'm staying, then we can do a session. But I have booked everything officially. Good morning, Kevin. Oh, he says, you, my love of a lifetime, my endless love. Wow, that's quite dramatic. Hello, Anthony. Welcome. So I am very excited about this trip. And hopefully the goal is that this is the first of many trips. I'm already thinking in my head about doing a West Coast trip. And last night I was fantasizing about doing a Midwest trip. As some of you may know, I'm originally from Illinois. And I haven't been back to my home. I guess you could call it my hometown. I don't really know what my home is because I've lived so many places. I lived equally in Illinois, Georgia, and California. California is definitely my favorite, but my hometown, like where I was born, is in Illinois. And I would love to go back there and just, reminisce. Plus, my family is quite spread out all over the country, but I do still have quite a chunk of family in Wisconsin. From where my mom is from, she grew up on a dairy farm up there. So I would love to include that in the road trip and visit a little bit of family. That is my long-term goal, one of them. Would I come through Iowa? So the way it works with these trips, like I said, with this one that I just did, I will let you know ahead of time when I'm starting to book the trip. And if there's people who want to do sessions and they're willing to put down a deposit for the session, then I will book something along near them. If, a lot of people talk. Obviously, I've had several people message me about sessions and then they don't even send tribute. So I'm not going to even discuss that with them. But the way I've been doing it is if somebody is interested in an in-person session, they can email me with tribute. That shows me that you're serious about taking my time to have a conversation about it. You will obviously have to verify your age. I always have people verify their age before we discuss anything kink related whatsoever, to cover myself. And the way I've been doing it is I do video calls with people to verify their ID and get other information that I need for my safety. And then we discuss the rates and what the session would look like. And that's a paid video call. And then if everything looks and feels good, meaning you don't strike me as a fucking creep, then I will, what's the word I'm looking for? Approve you. And you have the option to go ahead and pay the deposit that we would have already discussed. And then once I receive the deposit, then I will book accommodations in your area. That's how I've been doing it. That seems reasonable. So far, so good. Koreshi, I have no idea what your comment means. He says, you sking all our gi. I don't think that's English. Matt says he understands. Rock says, hello, Wisconsin. Where in Wisconsin do you live, sir? My mom's family is from the Milwaukee area. Yes, I've been there many times as a child, but not for a long time. Good morning, Brandon. He's on his knees. Oh, Giovanni is confessing that he started putting makeup on himself. Okay. Were you inspired by my morning makeup routine? Although mornly should be a word. Let me see. Good afternoon, morning, Juan, Joan. Rock says Madtown. Is that a real place? Is that even a real place? All right, where was I? You've distracted me once again. Let's do, I'm not going to walk on the treadmill today because, what was I going to say? My plantar fascia was very irritated yesterday. So I iced it. It feels better. I went for a walk with Mo this morning, but I just don't want to aggravate it. So we're going to give it a little rest. I mean, I do a lot of walking, as you guys know. I actually do the majority of it after I stop live streaming. So I just do a little bit, just so I'm not sitting the whole time. I'm just not a person who likes to sit for endless hours. It's just really not that great for your body. So even if I'm standing, like, it's so annoying when I'm streaming with you guys in the morning and I have the, annoying ass trolls on the chat and they're like, walk faster, jog, do this, do that. And I'm not like trying to get a full on workout while I'm sitting there trying to live stream and trade and talk to you people. I'm just trying to move a little bit and just not be sitting the whole time. That's the point. So, people always come on here and try to boss me around and they're on the wrong channel. We all know that. Rock says Madison. Okay, I wasn't familiar with the lingo. That makes more sense. Yes, I have not been to Madison. Is it lovely? I bet it's very cold because I know Illinois was very cold. I'm not a fan of the cold. This would obviously be a summer trip. I'm not trying to drive around doing a road trip in Wisconsin in the winter. No, thank you. When I lived in Pennsylvania and I got the hell out of there, I told you that story the other day. When I got the hell out of there, it was, I think, right after Christmas or right before Christmas, right around Christmas time. So it was very cold and a treacherous drive from Pennsylvania to Georgia. Plus, I had a motorcycle at the time, so I was driving my SUV with a motorcycle trailer and my motorcycle and a bunch of crap on the back on the trailer. And it was raining for, I believe, 7 out of the 15 hours of the drive. That was one of the most stressful drives of my life. Not to mention, I told you about that breakup. It was not a good time. It was maybe a low point in my life. But you know what? Challenges make us stronger, don't they? That's right. So whenever you're feeling a little challenge, just remember, ooh, Iran is threatening Elon Musk's companies in the Middle East, per Iranian state media. That just popped up. But what I was saying was, if you're going through something, just remember, what I always like to say is God doesn't give us more than we can handle. Believe it or not. That's what I say. Rock says you have to see Madison. It's a beautiful town. Well, I have lived in many different states in the US, and I've been to many of them. I don't think I ever shared this with you guys before, but my mom used to work for Delta Airlines for many years. So I was basically flying since I was like in the womb. Which was very nice growing up to take trips all over the US with, well, not, I wouldn't say all over the US. We mostly went to, we vacationed in, was it Alabama, the coast, and Florida. And we went to Vegas many times. I think I told you my parents love Vegas. They don't go there so much anymore. They've kind of switched their obsession for Vegas to cruises. Now they're obsessed with cruises. They go on cruises all the freaking time. And I know that's one of the things they love about me living in Florida is I'm like their little taxi cab. I drive them to all their cruises. So, what part of Pennsylvania did I leave from? I was living in Reading, Pennsylvania. I worked at the hospital there for a few months. It was a very interesting hospital. Now I'm a Georgia peach. No, I currently live in Florida, but I am not a Florida woman, okay? We're not going there. I will never be a Florida woman. Just like Florida man, you don't want to be a Florida man. I think some people are proud to be a Florida man, but I would not be proud of that. It's not something to be proud of. And when I say Florida man or Florida woman, I'm talking about, it's kind of a joke because you'll read like these news stories where Florida men do some weird shit. Like Florida man gets in wrestling match with alligator, some weird shit. So I think the last Florida woman story I saw was something about, it was like Florida woman attacks man in strip club with wooden pole or something. It's ratchet shit. So that's what I mean when I talk about Florida man and Florida woman. Anywho, my curl all fell out. So let's see if we can revive it with my smelly spray. What the fuck, BATL? You're just supposed to go up. You're not supposed to come down at all. This is not what I signed up for. The hell are you doing? Let's go to $20. A girl can help. Ugh, I hate it. I hate the smell. I don't know why I hate that smell so much. I am very sensitive to smells, as we all know. I don't know. I think this is beyond help, really. Yeah. I think it's the product I use. I think it's too heavy for my hair and it just weighed it the fuck down. I think it's more for like really curly hair and it was too heavy. I don't think this is really helping. It's beyond help. Whatever. We're just going to let it run free. It is what it is, you know. All right. Let me wash my hands. And then while I'm washing my hands, you can start guessing what socks I'm wearing today. What color and what style of socks? Sean says, very nice long hair. Thank you for that. Boop. Okay, I'm waiting for your answer about my socks. All right. Do I even put my shoes on because I'm not walking today? Excuse me. I don't know what that was. A hiccup. Sean votes for purple Hanes. By style, I meant ankle sock versus ruffle sock versus crew sock versus slouch sock. Those are your options. Dystopian says yellow. You are both wrong. Keep going. All right, let me turn this off. I feel like I need a little spray. Just sprayed myself in the face. That is not what I meant to do. All right, let's move along. I did trade a couple stocks this morning. There wasn't actually a whole lot moving. However, you know the big news. Let's say good morning to Mao. He's licking his paws. Good morning. The big news with the stock market today is that today is the SpaceX IPO day. I don't think this is publicly available knowledge, but oops, if you happen to know, you can let me know in the chat. Do we have any idea what time of the day the SpaceX IPO is happening? I think I read between like, I think it's after the market opens between like maybe 10 a.m. and 1-ish. I don't know, but I'm going to put it up on my SpaceX. Oops. Yeah, not open yet. So we'll see about that. No, I do not have any children. Just the little furry thing that you saw in the other room. The other thing I did today that was quite productive, well, not the other thing that I did, but yesterday I was productive by booking all the Airbnbs, all the hotels, accommodations, that's what I should say. What was that? I don't know what I just dropped. Doesn't matter. Oh, I set up, I've been meaning to do this for like a while, but I set up all my hotkeys on my, oh, I don't know why I put that up there. I could have just left it right here. What did I do last? Why did I do it? Let's move it back down. Oh, that was the cord. That was what fell. Now I know. Ugh, I gotta go through all this stuff today. What is my goal? So I set up all my hotkeys for trading, which I had done a while back, but on a different trading platform that I was on, but I had not set them up on Webull, which is what I currently use. So that is all good to go now. If you don't know what hotkeys mean that you can just, instead of like, you know, you always see me typing the order into my phone, which is not the most efficient way to do it, especially with the stock market, because the stocks that I trade move very quickly. So it is better to have hotkeys set up where I can just do like shift 1, control whatever, to take positions in stocks and close positions. Hello, Ice Spice. Welcome. Oh, yes, you guys are still guessing socks. Sean said ankle sock. Dystopian said a red slouch sock. All right. I am wearing gray ankle socks today. There you have it. That's what I got on. You guys always like to know, so I'm just saying. WNW. Let's check it out. Just popped up on my scanner. I also need to log into my other platform in a minute. Also, I would like to mention a relatively new slave who has been very good lately, pleasing me with his follow through and following directions in general. Basically, I like that. I don't mention subs full names unless they specifically ask me to, and sometimes even then I'm not super comfortable giving somebody's full information. So I just call them by their first initial, and he is R. So R has been serving me well. We started off on a bad foot, to be honest. I don't remember what he did, but it was very annoying. Oh yeah, I do remember what he was doing. He reached out and then I responded and then he like didn't respond after I had responded. And he did that 2 or 3 times. And so I kind of lost my patience and I said, "Look, you've reached out to me 2 or 3 times now and I've responded. I've had the courtesy to respond and then you just don't get back to me. And that's fucking rude. And it's not leaving a very good impression." So I did not think that this dynamic was going to go very well, to be honest, based on that. But he has come around and has been progressing nicely. So I am pleased with him so far. He has pleased me. Hopefully he continues it though, because sometimes people start strong and then they fade off after a few weeks. So hopefully he will be able to maintain this level of obedience. Sean says, I could learn a lot from you about stocks. Well, I don't really like to teach things about stocks. I talk about what I'm trading, but I am 100% fully transparent in the sense that I am not a profitable trader yet. I have been working at this for a long time. I do feel like I've got pretty good knowledge, but I have things that I'm still working on. So I have people come in here all the time because I do title this that I'm day trading and they want to ask what all these very like personal questions about my finances, which is so rude. Like I can never imagine asking somebody that. I'm not promoting myself as like a trading educator or anything like that. I'm just like calling out stocks that I see moving and what I'm trading. So do with it what you will. But what I've noticed about the trading space is there are a lot of very immature, insecure, and competitive and nasty, frankly, people, especially men. It's mostly men. Um, so that part I'm not a fan of, and I don't enjoy when I get people like that in my room, in my chat here. I'm happy to answer any questions, but I'm not sitting here telling you that like, trying to get money from you to learn how to trade from me or anything like that. That's not why I'm here. I do have a playlist on this channel with a lot of videos that I used to learn about how to trade that I think are very helpful. So you can check that out. It's a playlist on my channel called Day Trading for Beginners, I think, something along those lines. So if it is something you're watching and you're like, oh, this sounds interesting, I'd like to learn, you can use that. I'm not in the videos. Like I said, I don't teach this crap. Not trying to teach anybody anything, but I'm just sharing the information that I learn. And you do with it what you will. Shivani Says, "Hey ma'am, I have a question. Can you please help me in it?" Um, if you're asking for lengthy advice or trying to engage in a kink session for free, you know I don't do that, but you can ask a question. I'll see if I respond. I don't like how this is starting out, to be honest, but go ahead. You can ask. I'm just going to say that, it does annoy me when people sit here and try to engage in kink for free and that type of thing. It happens all the time. Sean says that's actually pretty nice of you to even do that. Well, I mean, I'm very passionate about trading. Like I said, I am not profitable yet. I have days where I do well, but I have days where I lose money. It is very difficult to trade. I think the hardest part is sticking with the rules that you set for yourself because in the moment you often want to do things that are not the best to do. So, let me hold on one second. So that's what I'm still working on. I'm a work in progress. Like I said, some days I do make quite a bit of money. Last couple days I made like 1200, 1600 last couple days per day. But then I have days where I lose money. So I'm not where I want to be yet. Hmm. Let me see what I missed here. Jack says, "Do you have tasks video?" Um, I do not give free tasks to subs who are not serving me. The only task I will give you is to go follow all my social media and to engage with my content. That is what you can do. I am not a fan of subs who think they're submissive, but they really just are just trying to satisfy their own needs. If you want to serve me and you want to make me happy and make my life easier, which is, in my opinion, what a true submissive should be doing, then you will serve me correctly and you won't give me shit about serving me correctly. Um, the people that come in my chat like you asking for free tasks and that kind of shit, it just rubs me the wrong way because it just tells me that you're just in it to serve yourself. So you should probably just go somewhere else. And don't call me your owner because you haven't served me. You are not owned by me. Sean says, "You will be very profitable in the end. Go for it. Don't let stuff hold you back like fear. Go for it." Yes, I will say that you should have a healthy amount of fear when trading stocks because it's very easy to lose money. um, but I am a stubborn, I don't know, Capricorn's usually stubborn. I feel like that's usually Taurus's. But I am a very stubborn and motivated person, and I'm determined to get there. I know that I will get there at some point, but I just gotta follow my rules. That's all. I understand the stocks that I'm trading and why. I find really good stocks. Um, my biggest problem is risk management. That can be very challenging. So, but today is very quiet, I feel like, with the stock market. Abnormally quiet compared to how it's been the last few days. There's been shit just, like I said, nonstop going off. But today, it's rather quiet. Which was fine because I cleaned my house and, well, just a little bit. I need to do more cleaning. My sister's coming this weekend. Um, DBGI is moving. Let's take a look at that. But I set up my hotkeys and I've been meaning to do that. Also, yesterday, I started the process of learning how to use AI for posting on my platforms. I am not very good with technology. I don't know anything about coding. And as we all know, I'm older. And the older you get, the more technology is confusing. So I am trying to teach myself how to use AI to grow my brand in general. So I started that process yesterday. And I have to watch things like 5 times because it just goes over my head. But I think I'll get there. It's just not my strong point. I feel like, you know, some people are good with technology and I'm just not one of those people. Um, but I feel like I've also been able to teach myself many skills. I am relatively intelligent, more so than most people, so I think I'll get there. Aw. Kevin sends a $20 super chat and he says, I wish I could clean your house for you. I wish you could clean my house too. I mean, that's something I said that I'm open to if someone is serving me and if I'm comfortable. Like I said, they make it through my screening process. Just for any person I'm going to meet in person, there's obviously going to be a screening process, especially if I were going to have somebody in my home, obviously. But I would be all about that. I would love to dress a man up. Well, you know, depending on what your limitations and boundaries are. Preferably, I would like you in an apron and heels if possible, because that would just make it that much more entertaining for me. But yes, I've told the story before. Good morning, Sunil. And before I get to my story, I will mention, as usual, that you notice how Kevin sent a super chat with his comment, and I read it right away because it comes in a big colorful block and I can see it very easily. I check the chat periodically. I'll be checking it more, a little bit more today since it is a little bit slower. I don't know, DBGI. Are we going to trade this? Probably not. It's not moving fast enough, but it's moving a little bit. So let DBGI has a 22 million share float, 8% short, 7.5% short float. Let's see. Oh, I was going to get this set up too. Let me do that really quick. Load. Gappers, scan. I don't think there's anything here right now. No, nothing. Oh, DBGI, Digital Brand Group, is based out of Austin, Texas. It's always funny when stocks companies come up and they're based out of places I've lived and I know exactly where they are. There was one that was even based out of the town I'm in now, which is not a very big town. So that was very random. Shivani says, ma'am, you missed my question. Please check it. No, you didn't pay attention to what I said. What I just said was, I'm periodically checking the comments. I don't see every comment. You can always accompany your comment with a super chat if you are so desperate for me to see it. Kevin had no problem doing that. So you can type your comments. I check it periodically. I'm not going to see every comment. If you are very desperate for me to see your comment, then you can accompany it with a super chat. That is an option. Antoine says your workout yesterday looked great. You're definitely in some good shape. I appreciate that because I was feeling a little discouraged yesterday when I live streamed. I think I'm just going to have to go subscriber only mode on every live stream I do from now on. Kevin just sent another $20 super chat and says, I wish I could give you all my money. Well, you do have to have enough to survive, but that's really all you need. Fred is here and he's kneeling. Lovely. And what I was saying about the workout video is it seems that YouTube is now starting to push out my workout channel to random viewers. It was a very small channel. It's starting to grow now. And so I'm getting a lot of trolls and actually a lot of the same people that have trolled me on this channel. They were pretty nasty yesterday. And when it gets like that, I'm like, you know what? This makes me not even want to fucking live stream at all. So subscriber mode only it is from now on. And that's that. Sean says, just send it, Kevin. Do I drain on here? I sure do. I sure do. It's been a little bit since we did a drain, actually. And If you want to get drained by playing little games, we do have the wheel and the dartboard behind me. If you want to get drained more slowly, this one has higher tribute mounts. This one has lower, except it does have one $200 notch on it. But some of them aren't even money on there too. So I gotta hide that wheel when my sister comes with her kids this weekend, or they're gonna start playing with it and they'll probably break it. I love my niece and nephew. I love children. We all know this, but and I love my sister. Between you and me, her children are not that well behaved. Her daughter is, but now she's starting to pick up some of the bad habits of her brother, which is not good. So last time they were here, they were playing with all my shit, and it was quite annoying. Um, so we're gonna have a little chat this time. I'm gonna have some little toys for them, some little gifts, and I'm gonna tell them at the beginning. Maybe we'll even do. I love doing smiley face charts or like sticker charts. So I'll tell them if they earn so many stickers or smiley faces over the course of the few days when they're here, then they can earn the prize. And if they don't, then they won't get it. That seems reasonable, right? Shika, yes, I do. All my links are in my bio. You can go check it out. I've had that for many years, like 17 years or something. Ronan, what is it? Sean says get something for them to do out in the yard. That's a good idea. I do have from when I worked with kids, I actually have bins of various toys and activities. I need to dig them out. They might be in the garage. That's probably gonna be my project today or tomorrow. But I mean, I do have lots of things to play with, but you know, they were also swinging around my pole like monkeys last time too. It was quite annoying. I might have to take the pole down because they can't control themselves. So I also have this little thing. We didn't get around to playing with this last time, but this is one little thing I have. I have lots of random toys and stuff. I have to prepare. I have to set them up for success, which is what you have to do with children. Meaning put out the things that are okay for them to play with and put the things away that I don't want them to play with. Like they were playing with all my weights last time, which isn't that bad. I mean, they can't damage the weights or anything, but it's more about them hurting themselves, dropping them on their feet or something. I could see them doing that. So we have to childproof my house in the next day or two. Do I have more of a yard? Yeah, I've got a nice little yard. Mo likes it. It's getting a little fuzzy out there. I wonder when the yard people are coming. I also have a garden snake that lives out there he's kind of become my pet snake, really. I'd like to eventually hold him, but I don't think he'll let me. He's too scared. He runs off too easily. Sean says I am definitely wifey material. Well, I wish you luck with that. I'm like, what's that movie with Julia Roberts, The Runaway Bride? That's me. I run away. That's where I'm at. DBGI, we have a level at 159. It's at 154. That's why I'm not trading it right now, because I feel like it could just get rejected right at 159. And it also has had quite a few red candles. So I don't know if I'm feeling that. And there's like nothing popping up on my scanner. And I mean nothing. Let me detach and let me get the squeeze scanner going and see if there's anything moving on that. I need to set this. I don't know. I used to have this scanner set so that it would oh wait, where's the detach? Detach. I love that option. I just learned that option the other day. I can detach the screen and then have two scanners on top of each other. Sorry, I'm nerding out. Mr. Ronan, Says, please forgive me. May I rest? My knees are painful. No, I don't want to hear it. Stop whining. Don't be a little bitch. Suck it up. Shika says, do you want to do a fan page for you? You are welcome to make a fan page for me, as long as you make it very clear that it is a fan page, because I have had in the last few months quite a few people, a couple people trying to create accounts and pretend they're me and scam people. So if I see anything like that, I will fucking report it. But if you're doing it to support me and you're directing traffic back to my profile, that is acceptable. I do report impersonators as soon as I see them, because there's been quite a few. Not quite a few, a couple. Let's just say that. But I've only been doing this a short time, so I can't imagine in another year or two how bad that's going to get. I'm not looking forward to that. All right, do we have anything on the squeeze scanner? Let's see. I need to make more scanners too. I need like a high of day scanner. I haven't set that up. I only have my pre-market gapper scanner, which scans for stocks that are popping up at least 10% from the previous day, among many other conditions. And then I have my 10% squeeze scanner, which tells me when, let's see, a stock moves up 10%, has increasing volume, and over the course of 5 minutes, yes, 5 minutes, 5 minute squeeze scanner. I don't know why it's not working. I'm also very hungry. Let's see, isn't it oatmeal day today or eggs? Eggs with some apple toast or oatmeal with a side of yogurt. I think I might do eggs because I have some mushrooms I want to use up. I ramble. Am I day trading? Well, I'm staring at charts. I don't know if that counts as day trading. I don't really see anything worth trading. I've got my scanners going and I see nothing that appeals to me. We do know that the SpaceX IPO is coming out today, so I do have that up. I will probably trade that. I am currently in BATL and TPET, both of which are oil stocks, which were doing great yesterday, but are a little slow this morning. PPCB just popped up on my scanner. Let's check that out and see. So in general, on days like today, where there's nothing really popping up on my scanners, I'm a lot less likely to take trades, because usually, if that's how it starts, it's not going to be great for trades. I'm not saying I won't trade anything, but I trade with caution. All right, PPCB had a recent high of $6.30. It's currently at 328. Oh, that was the pre-market high. And then it dropped all the way down to 205. So this isn't going to be a great trade because it already came up and then came all the way down. And this is like the second run. So a lot of times the second run is not going to go as high as VWAP or up to the previous high. Sometimes it will. If it was a day where everything was really strong and there were lots of things popping up, I'd be more hopeful. But on a day like today, when it's quite quiet and slow, I'm going to trade a lot less aggressively. PPCB. Let me see. Dun, dun. Why isn't this freaking scanner working? The fuck? Let's detach. Let's try this again. Load. Personal. Squeeze. Scan. There we go. Now it worked. Why didn't it work the first time? Yes, PPCB is up on that scanner too. 2 million share float. 1.53% short float. 0.05 relative volume. This is not good. 8:30 news. So that's why we had that initial pop earlier. This is a biopharma stock, and it authorized 5 million share repurchase program, which is good news. It is based out of Australia. We don't see too many Australian stocks. So it does have good news, but it already had a pop up on the news. So I don't know about this. And the volume's not as high as it was earlier today. So do I invest in Nvidia? No, all I talk about is day trading. I don't talk about investing. Pablo says, look at Lockheed Martin stocks. I don't need to. Those are not within my trading, what I'm looking for. I have very specific type of stocks that I'm looking for. You trade what you want. You do your own style. Don't tell me what to do. Ooh, I don't know if you heard that, but that was my stomach. I am hungry. I'm not going to eat for another half hour though, so you're going to have to suck it up. Look how straight this hair is. It's supposed to be curly. It doesn't hold the curl that well, the wave. All right. Yeah, PPCB just had two relatively large 1-minute red candles. It's coming back up now. The level 2 looks okay, but I'm just not sure about it. And if I'm not sure, I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? If I were to see more green candles coming in, then I might be more excited. If it got over VWAP, then I might also be excited, but I'm just not. I'm not seeing that. Let me put it on this chart where I have the EMAs. So the current technical shit that I'm looking at, oh, it is about to cross over on MACD though. That could be a good thing. That could be a good thing. Eh. To trade or not to trade? That is the question. PPCB. We're going to take a small position. I like the MACD. I like the look of the MACD right now. And actually, we're going to try my new hotkeys. You know what? That's why we're going to do the trade, because we need to practice the hotkeys. Where is my hotkey? There. Okay. So we are going to start with, how many shares do I want to do? Shift 6. Did it work? It did. It worked. My first trade with the hotkeys. How exciting. I liked it. It was quite thrilling. IK thinks I'm going to engage with him in a king session for free. How sad. How sad for you. Fred just sent a 2 something super chat, a different currency. I see you. I see you in your little $2 super chat. That's adorable. Are you on your knees, Fred? Any alligators in my yard? No, not currently. I've never had an alligator in the yard. I've had a possum in the yard. I have a fence, so I don't think the alligators could get in unless they were quite small. Like a baby alligator. I do have a snake back there. He lives under the house. Just a small little black snake. I didn't like him at first, but he's kind of grown on me, to be honest. And I did see a rather fat possum when I was working out the other day out the front of my house, and it was crossing the road. And then I felt bad that I thought it was fat because it might have been pregnant. They're quite ugly creatures, though. I'm just saying. All right, PPCB. Oh, AZI is popping up. This one was going nuts the other day, so let's take a look. AZI. It always makes me think of the bladder medication, but whatever. It's not a lot of volume. This candle has 6,000 shares of volume. That's not exciting. That's actually quite boring. Jesus wants me to give him a house tour. No. You can go back in this video where I was walking around the house a little bit earlier, or you could go watch my fitness channel where I work out in my living room, but I'm not going to get up and do a house tour right now. I'm in the middle of trading stocks. AJ says he or she loves my speech. Thank you for that. Speaking of alligators, I did see this very cute YouTube video the other day about, I forget the alligator's name, but it was an alligator who had been rescued, relocated by this man. I guess he was found somewhere in Florida and they had to relocate this alligator. So he took the alligator in, and this alligator became very tame and actually very sweet. And he likes to cuddle. He's actually a really sweet little alligator. He can be around kids and everything. I was quite impressed with him. Um, I tried to send it to my parents and they didn't think it was very cute. Whatever. Oh, I didn't realize it was 9:30 already. That was the bell. The stock market just opened. I'm watching PPCB. I would not have held this if I realized it was frickin' 9:30. Such is life. I can use my hotkeys to get out. I have to refer to my chart because I don't remember what they are though off the top of my head. Control F is my sell the full position. Fred just sent another $2 super thanks. No message. Okay, Control F. Let's close out of PPC. No. Do I want to let it go a little bit more? Or do I want to take my profit? I take my profit. Let's see if it worked. It worked. I love my hotkeys. I'm so glad I set those up this morning. Although I should have stayed in the stock just a little bit longer. It just hit 350. I think it's going to go to 376 or so. Oh man, I definitely should have stayed in. It's up to almost $4 now. Do I get back in? Let's see. I'll do a small position. Do you hear something? Okay, I'm back in. Are we going to break 4? Do I hear 4? Because it already broke what I thought it was going to, which is 376. The pre-market high is 630. I think I want to take more. I want more. Okay. This is really fun, playing with my hotkeys. It makes my life so much easier. I don't have to type it in my fucking phone every time. My position's not big enough. I would have liked larger position. My orders didn't fill fast enough, but are we gonna go to the pre-market high? Are we gonna go above 450? Are we gonna break 450? 448. Stalling out. I'm gonna get out. I just broke 450. More profit. Excellent. So that was a nice little trade. 2 trades on PPCB. I do think it's going to start pulling back now. I might get in for a little dip trade, depending on how low it goes. It's going to take me a while to learn these hotkeys. Shift 6. Okay, we're getting back in for hopefully a little dip trade. If it starts going down too much, then I'll just get out. It is going down. Let's see where I'm at now. Okay. Watching, waiting. I have a partial order that didn't fill. So that's the only problem with these hotkeys is it's not filling the whole order sometimes when it's going up very fast. It is what it is. It still makes it a lot quicker for me to get in and out, which is very important. BQ and ELPW are popping up on my scanner. All right, I do think PPCB is kind of stalling out, so I'm going to go ahead and get out right now. That was probably a little premature, but such is life. Actually, no, it's not because it's going down more. Let's check out EQ. And no, that looks terrible. ELPW. This one, I wish I'd gotten in this the other day. No, I'm thinking of something else, not ELPW. I'm thinking of something else. But there was one stock that moved up quite a bit the other day. It wasn't this one. Yeah, no. I don't know about that. Let's go back to PPCW because that's still kind of going. And oh, BQ, not EQ. Oops. BQ. Let's check it out. Lots of things popping up on the scanner now. Interesting. Let me change my scanner over here to the squeeze scanner. Alrighty. BQ, PPCW, PPCB. I don't know why I said W. And BATL isn't doing shit. Disappointed with that. I do have a large position in BATL right now. IK is 2 seconds away from getting timed out for being annoying and desperate. Mr. Ronan says, Goddess, I have some bad things coming my way. Why are you sharing this with me? I'm sorry to hear this, but I don't know you. You're not serving me. Why are you sharing this with me? BQ, ELPW, I don't know. I don't know about that shit. It doesn't really look like it has a whole lot of volume. Fred just sent another $2 and something super chat. I see you. He's doing like a mini drain. Yeah, ELPW does not look worth my time. Let me see. PPCB, if that looks, oh my gosh, there's so many things on the squeeze scanner right now. I guess we're just going to break them down one by one. I still think PPCB is pulling back a little bit. I still think this could reach the pre-market high, but I'm not sure. It does have some red. Let's see what the 5-minute chart looks like. It could be forming a cup and handle, maybe. It's possible. All right, we're getting back. Are we getting back in? No. Now it's going down. Now it's going up. Okay, we're getting back in. Shift 7. Did I fill? It didn't fill shit. The fuck? I didn't get in. It's just moving too fast. Dang it. I don't want to chase it. But I did chase it a little bit. All right, now we're squeezing up on PPCB. Let's see if we get to the pre-market high, 630. We just broke 5. If I'd gotten in sooner, this would have been a better trade, but you know, we don't always get what we want. Magooch just sent a $5 super chat. You guys are loving the little bitty cents today, aren't you? You're feeling a little frisky, are you? Wrong way. All right, I think I'm gonna set a limit order on this one. I'm gonna set a limit order for pre-market high was 630. I'm gonna do it for 599, just below 6. Confirm. I should have set a limit order for the entry on this one, but I was just so excited to use my hotkeys for the first time. Okay, I guess LK is not learning his lesson, so he's now in timeout for 30 minutes. Maybe he can come back and not be annoying. I don't know. There's your punishment that you wanted so desperately. Mr. Ronan says, Goddess, I'm afraid of disappointing you, but my cage is in its place. Do I know you? Are you serving me? Sometimes you guys use different usernames on different platforms, and I don't know that you're the same person. If you're not serving me, I don't give a crap about your cage. Like, why would I care? I only monitor locking for subs who are serving me. Okay, here we go. It is going. 550. Oh, did it just get halted? Fake halt. Are we going to hit 599? I hope so. It might even go above the pre-market high. Anything could happen. It is squeezing though. This is a good little trade. I'd like to see it hit 599, which is where my limit order is, but it's kind of getting a little weak here. Do I take my profit or do I be patient? You know, I'm not so good at the patient part. I do have a lot of patience when I want to have patience. I'm a very impatient driver. I'll say that. Um, hmm. It just had two very lovely 5-minute green candles. So I will try to be patient. But if it goes down much more, then I'm out. Let me go to the bottom of the chat. The hop is celebrating my power and beauty. I love that. All subs should celebrate my power and beauty. But some of them are too busy talking about what they want. Good subs celebrate my power and beauty. So that is well said. Oh, we got a lot of people watching right now, don't we? I am currently in PPCB. It's coming down a little. Don't you come down. You keep going. And we are patiently waiting for SpaceX to open up so we can see what the hell happens there. It should be a very interesting day once that opens up. All right. We did a little pullback on PPCB. It could be forming a cup and handle, actually. That does look like a lovely cup. I think the chances are pretty solid that I'm going to get to my limit order. So I'm trying to be patient. We're currently at 514. I'd like to see 599. Pre-market high is $6.30. I have something in my throat. Hello, Javier. The hop is getting very excited watching me be successful. That's so cute. You know what? That's a good person who likes to see other people successful. There's more people on the internet that should learn from you. I also enjoy seeing people get successful. There's too many people in the world who like to bring other people down, and it's quite pathetic. What is my plan? Jordan was AFK. How's it going? Jordan, I don't understand your lingo. What does AFK mean? I could look it up, but I'm busy watching a stock right now. What does AFK mean? It's going well. I still haven't looked at your thumbnails yet. I apologize. I'll get to it today, hopefully. I shouldn't make promises I can't keep. Oh, there we go. Oh shit, I just filled my order. $5.99, what's up? Are we gonna break the pre-market high and then I'll take a bigger position? What's the high so far? $6 exactly. That's why I went with $5.99. A lot of times a stock will approach a whole dollar, but sometimes it doesn't always get through. I do think this is going to keep going. Let's get back in. Shift 6. Oh gosh, it just broke the pre-market high. It is really going. We're going to try to get a little bit lower order now. Let's get a pullback. Do I hear 610? Do I hear 599? Oops. Let's see if it fills. It might be too low. Ah, I don't know what I just did. It's too low. I'm not gonna, am I gonna fill? I adjusted. There we go. All right, I'm in. Let's see. The high is 642. It already broke the pre-market high. So let's look back in time on a 4-hour chart to see how high this thing could possibly go at this point. Since it did break the pre-market high, now I'm going to go back and look at some previous levels of resistance. I see 725, 750. And then the next level I see is $10. So this could go to $10. I think that is very likely considering how strong it is. But I'll probably take half out at 720, just below the previous level of resistance. That's why I'm choosing 720. Oops, 0.2. How many shares do I have? How many shares do I have? Oh, okay. So we will do a limit order. That's why I'm doing it on my phone and not the hotkeys, because I don't want to get out of it right now, but I'm setting a limit order so that when it zooms up like it just did, I'll be ready. I'll have the order in place and I'll be taking my profit. BATL is going down, which does not make me happy, but at least I'm making money over here. Confirm. All right, PPCB, I'm ready. Here it goes. Let's hit 720 and hit my profit. And then let's also fill at 999, 998. Oh, it pulled back. That's sad. Confirm. Why is my nose itchy? Jordan says, Mr. Ronan, maybe send a tribute to be in contact to her or a donation to make your comment more visible. Exactly. I really hate it when people like put in the chat, like, did you see my comment? Did you see my comment? Goddess, goddess, goddess. Like, just send a freaking super chat or send tribute. Like, you obviously see that I'm busy, and I'm just saying that you're going to do nothing but annoy me if you do shit like that. I don't like it. Just so you know. John says, what's your trading style? I am a small cap momentum trader. That is my trading style. I am currently in PPCB. And I'm waiting for it to hit the next level of 720. The high so far is 678. I have to burp. Excuse me. Mr. Ronan says, I'm very sorry. I don't want to hear you're sorry. I just want better behavior. That's all. I don't think that's so much to ask for, to not be annoying. CEO says, I didn't have time to look at your trading. Words are hard. Day trading playlist, but I will. Okay. Let me know what you think when you watch it. And sometimes if we're talking about stuff and I feel like you guys have questions about stuff, then I can always look up videos and add it on there. Like somebody was asking about trading platforms the other day, so I added a video about that. I try to keep that playlist pretty basic though, and stick with things that are more for newer people. I think there's like 1 or 2 videos on there that might be a little bit harder to understand if you're brand new. Could I tell you more about my trading style for the layman? That's a little difficult because I can tell you details about my trading strategy, but if you don't know anything about stocks, you haven't watched those videos, then it may not make much sense to you. And I'm not gonna, it would be like a lot of information and take a very long time for me to go into detail and explain each thing. I can try to do it very briefly. So what I'm looking for first of all, the way that I find stocks is I have scanners that I've set up on a platform called Thinkorswim, which is through Charles Schwab. I think there's videos on the playlist about how to set up a scanner. I have two scanners. I have a 10% squeeze scanner, which means the stock is moving up 10% within 5 minutes. And then there's other parameters on there. And then I also have a pre-market gap scanner, which scans for my specific stocks that I'm looking for, the parameters, and that they've squeezed up at least 10% from the previous day. AERT and TGL just popped up on my scanner. Generally speaking, hold on, let me look at these really quick. We actually have a lot popping up. AERT does not look like it has enough volume to me. I would not trade that. I only trade stocks that have quite a bit of volume, because if there's no volume, then it's going to be very hard to get in and out of the stock. And it's just not going to move as much. So if I look at a stock and like this stock, okay, for example, this stock OCG that pulled up on my scanner only has volume of like 4,000 shares per bar. That's not very much. The other stock that I'm currently in, PPCB, on a 1 minute chart has 288 shares of volume per bar, per candle. So you can see that's much higher volume. Okay, now PCB is pulling back a little bit. It does look like it could be forming a cup and handle, but it is past my max loss right now. It's bouncing off, what is that? The VWAP. So a VWAP on the 1 minute chart anyways. I'm going to give it another minute. So I do have a mental stop loss that I've set, but I also look at like the conditions of the stock. So like right now, it is below my max 10% loss, but it's bouncing off VWAP. So there's a strong possibility it could come back up. So I don't want to bail on it right now without seeing how it's going to play out a little bit. So I do use stop losses, but I use mental stop losses because, like I said, sometimes it is worth it to see if it's going to like hold VWAP, bounce off VWAP, and then it might go right back up. So we'll see what happens. That's a 5 minute chart. And let me look and see what it looks like on a 15-minute chart. Okay. So right now, if it closes a candle below 509, then I'm going to get out. But now it's coming back up. It bounced off VWAP a little bit. So we're going to let that play out. So the stocks that I'm specifically looking for are low float, number one. Float is the number of shares available. And when a stock has a low float, that means it has low supply. So there's not that many shares available. So the lower the float, the better. I look for stocks that are under 20 million shares of available. The higher you go, well, sometimes even high float stocks can still be volatile, but generally speaking, you see a lot more volatility with low float stocks. So that's the float. I look for stocks that gap up at least 10% from the previous day. So that shows me that something is causing them to move and there's attention on them. CRMT, CIIT just popped up on my scanner. So not every single stock that pops on my scanner is something that I want to trade. So usually when it pops up on my scanner, then I'm going to pull it up and look at the chart. I'm looking at the volume per candle. I'm looking at the chart pattern to see if looks like it's good. I do think we're doing a cup and handle on PPCB. I can't guarantee it. My understanding, so that's like a whole nother thing, is chart patterns. A cup and handle is a chart pattern, and it usually indicates that the stock is going to continue going up. My understanding is that the way a cup and handle works is if you look at the top of the cup, so I've got 678 for the top of this, 201 at the bottom, 678 minus 201 is 477 divided by 2 is 236-ish, roughly. So then I take that amount and I subtract it from the top. 678 minus 236, 4. So basically, the handle of the cup and handle should not be more than 50% of the cup, if that makes any sense to you. If it doesn't, then don't worry about it. Basically, if this stock goes below 442, then it is no longer a cup and handle pattern. It is best to wait for, if you're looking at a chart pattern, if you're trading off a chart pattern, to wait for the chart pattern to play out completely. So just because I see a cup, I don't, there's not necessarily a handle yet. It could go all the way down and then it's not a cup and handle. It would only be a cup and handle if it does a cup and then this little handle and then it breaks out. So it would have to break the highs of the cup, which is 678, 675 on this one, whatever. Anywho, so we'll see if this turns out to be a cup and handle pattern. It could be, but we don't know yet. CAST just popped up on my scanner. Okay, back to what I was talking about with the stocks that I trade. So low float, gap up at least 10%. I look for high relative volume. Relative volume is the volume at this point of the day compared to previous days. CAST is actually moving up nicely. Let me check out this stock a little bit. CAST, oops, CAST. Freecast Incorporated is a 16 million share float, so that is under the 20 million share float that I like. It is a 0.69% short float. We'll talk about that later. It's based out of Orlando, Florida. And it had news on June 4th. So it doesn't have recent news. And the reason that news is important is because news would be considered to be a catalyst. So we like to know why a stock is moving. If it's moving up on good news, that's usually a good thing. If there's no catalyst, that is a little bit more risky. However, there are many times where even though a stock has very good news, RGNT is also popping up on my scanner. I don't know if I would trade cast. The volume looks too light to me. It could just be starting a move, but I'm too impatient to stick around and find out. We'll put it on the back burner. Maybe we'll check it out later. RGNT. This one has been popping up a lot lately too. So let me pull that one up on here. I don't necessarily care what the company is because I'm not a fundamental trader, then I would probably care more. I do take note if it is an Israeli or Chinese based company. For example, RGNT is an Israeli company. Those ones tend to pop up and drop very badly. I don't know if it's manipulation, if it's why that is, but I can't give you a good answer. But a lot of times those are scam stocks. They will pop and drop and you can lose a lot of money. So you have to trade Chinese and Israeli stocks very carefully. This one, the RGNT is an Israeli stock. It is a biomaterials company, 2.48 million share float, 1% short float, and it is based, like I said, based out of Israel. It had news on June 8th that it advanced its European commercial launch plans for Gelrinic. Whatever that means. Anywho, it's not really moving. It had some green candles here, but like the last candle had 382 shares of volume. That's like nothing. I wouldn't trade that because it has no volume. Anyways, so relative volume was the other thing I'm looking at, and that is, like I said, the volume at this particular moment compared to previous days. I look for a relative volume of at least five times the previous day. If it's less than 5, then it's probably not going to move a whole lot. All right, I have a lot of other stuff popping up on the scanner. GZXN. GZXN. When I first started trading and I didn't know what I was doing, if I saw a stock moving, I would just get in it. Um, and then I learned it has to have volume, it has to have all these other things. So let's see. GLXG is another one. Oops. Let's check out that one, and then I'll get back to what I was talking about earlier. Okay, wait. PPCB, if it drops below 4.42, we are out. It did drop below VWAP. I don't like that. It's holding VWAP on the 5-minute chart. I'm talking about VWAP on the 1-minute chart. So generally speaking, you're going to want to take more note of chart patterns and levels that are being respected on larger charts, like 15-minute, hour versus 1-minute, 2-minute, or 5-minute charts are not as reliable when it comes to chart patterns and that type of thing, if that makes sense. GLXG is moving up. CAST that I just talked about, the Israeli one, is moving, but it's Israeli and it didn't really have much volume, so I'm probably going to stay away from that one. It could move. You could still get a trade on it, but it's just a little too risky in my opinion. GLXG, let's look that up. GLXG, Galaxy Payroll. Sounds thrilling. Just broke the high. 1.7 million. This is a Chinese stock, so you know, pre-market high is 572. It's at 453. It could break pre-market high. I don't think it would be a good trade to take right now because it could maybe get to 572 and then pull back. It could break it, but I just don't think that's enough of strength for me. And it's Chinese. You can make really good money on Chinese stocks, but you just got to take profit. Those are not the ones that you want to hold and see what happens. You want to get the fuck out. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'll just watch GLXG, but I'm also watching BATL and PPCB. How much longer do I want to give PPCB? We'll give it another 3 minutes to see if it does anything. It's got 3 minutes and 15 seconds left on the current 5-minute candle. I would like to see something at that point, or I might just get out. Andrew is here. I am having an amazing day. You missed the first part of the stream, which is fine, but I did finish booking all of my accommodations for the trip. So I am all booked and ready to go. As we get closer, I'll email you and let you know whereabouts the one is. And Paxton is here. He says, "Good morning from your biggest fan." I have my smallest fan right here. I think it needs to be charged. Oh no, he's active. This is good for like the beach. Anywho, I'll just drop something else. Andrew says he'll rewatch this afternoon. Okay, PPCB is coming back up now. This is good. Hopefully it continues. I would like to also see a higher volume 5-minute candle, and I would like it green. We like green. Green is a great color when it comes to stocks and candlestick charts. If you don't know what a candlestick chart is and you want to trade, then you should probably learn that. You should learn what the candles mean. Back to what I was talking about, my stock selection. I told you relative volume. I also look, like I said, for a catalyst, whether it is news or maybe this is a stock it's not a person, which has run in the past. If it's had big moves in the past, that could tell me. Or if there's a technical breakout, like I said, with a chart pattern, if it's fitting a known chart pattern, that could be a catalyst. I look for stocks anywhere between 50 cents and $20. Some people don't like penny stocks. I always thought penny stocks were stocks that were under $1, which would kind of make sense. But apparently, I've seen other people say that the formal definition of a penny stock is anything under $3. That's what they say. I don't really consider a $3 stock a penny stock, but some people do. So, do I guess I trade a lot of penny stocks then. I do like cheaper stocks. Some people don't like that. You know what? Then you trade what you want to trade, and I'll trade what I trade. And then we're all happy. Just because I trade what I trade doesn't mean you have to trade what I trade. You trade whatever the fuck you want to trade. You know what I mean? And you know what? I haven't even had caffeine today. Why am I so wired sounding? I'm gonna drink some more tea. It's just spearmint and lavender. Although I did want to drink some caffeine today. I forgot I had these little things. Let's go grab one really quick. I keep forgetting I have these. Maybe I save it. I have two of them, so we're just gonna drink one. I don't know. Do I really need caffeine right now? I did stay up kind of late last night. I was watching a nerdy sci-fi show. Magic Mind, mental performance shot. Maybe I should have taken this before I started trading. Sharper mind, calm energy. Huh. What's in here? Patented mental performance formula. Lion's mane. Cognizin. Lots of crap. We're just gonna drink it. We're taking shots. Let me smell it. Oh, smells like dragon fruit or something. That does not taste good. Oh, that tastes like lotion or something. That's disgusting. I'm gonna drink more. It's really gross. It doesn't taste good at all. Oh, God, I hope it does something for my brain because it makes me want to throw up. It says it has antioxidants and immunity support. Fucking hope so. Well, it tastes like that. I will never get that shit again. Magic Mind. Tastes like ass. But apparently it's good for your brain. I sure hope so after I had to suffer through drinking that. PPCB is holding so far. I'm still in it. I would like to see this turn into a cup and handle and break 675. Pre-workout? No, it's not pre-workout. This is a mental performance shot. Okay. What nerdy show was I watching? Oh. What is it called? The acting's not that great, to be honest, and I don't really like the main character, the actress. I don't know who she is, but I find her annoying. It's called Another Life. It's a space show. I like that kind of shit. Even if the actress is annoying. It's got the guy from Shameless in it. Um the main character's boyfriend, the guy that was the boyfriend, the car thief guy, whatever that actor's name is, he's in it. I don't think he's a very good actor either, to be honest. So the acting overall is not very good, but in general, I do still enjoy it. All right, I am waiting for PPCB to get its shit together. If it does break 675, I might increase my position. It is definitely not a rom-com. I'm not so much into rom-coms. That's not my thing. I'm more of like a true crime. I do love true crime. I like sci-fi. I like scary movies. Horror stuff. I don't like blood and guts though. I don't handle the sight of blood well, which I've unfortunately learned the hard way. And by learning the hard way, I mean I pass out. Maybe not if I'm watching it on TV, but in person I do pass out when I see blood. It's not a good thing. And actually, when I first started going to college, I wanted to be a surgeon, and that was never meant to be. Because if I pass out when I see blood, there was no way that I was going to be able to operate on people. I just don't think that would have gone well. Jeff Rose says 675, me too. What are you talking about? I'm talking about $6.75 is the high of PPCB. That is the stock that I'm in. If it breaks 675, then we will increase the position. Level 2 doesn't look that great though. It looks like there's a lot of sellers stacked up. So we'll see what happens. It's still kind of up in the air. What does the 15-minute chart look like? Same. We've got 5 minutes left on this 15-minute chart. I think that will give us a good indication what's going to happen here. 10 seconds left on the current 5-minute candle. Nurse? I'm not a nurse. I'm definitely not a surgeon. I didn't want to have to go to medical school. It seemed like a lot of money. Okay. I was going to mention something else about stocks. We were talking about relative volume. We were talking about price. Oh, I was talking about news and how it's helpful if a stock has news as a catalyst. But however, there are many, many times you have to be careful because I've seen many stocks that have news and they go the wrong direction. And I think a lot of times what's happening, I'll be careful with this pen. When that happens is a lot of people are shorting the stock. So sometimes even though a stock has great news, it'll get shorted to crap and it will not go up. So that was another mistake I made a lot when I started trading was I thought just because a stock had good news that meant that it was going to go up. So sometimes I would buy what I thought was low and then it would just drop. So good news does not mean a stock is going to go up, unfortunately. Well, that was a little fake out. Motherfucker. PPCB is not headed the right direction. If it breaks 460, I'm probably out. What was the low here just now? 473. It's testing my patience, that's for sure. How big is my position here? Maybe I downsize in case it drops. I do have quite a large position. Okay, we're gonna give it not large. It's like an average size position. ENHALICN just popped up on my scanner. WTO UBXG are also on the scanner. LICN is on both scanners, so I'm going to pull that one up while I'm waiting for PPCB to figure itself out. Do I trade futures? No. Brandon says he's surprised I'm still on. Yeah, I am too. It's past my breakfast time and my stomach was grumbling, but I've just been blabbing a lot this morning. I just can't shut up. Some days I'm okay. PPCB is coming back up now. Some days I'm quieter than others. I'm just feeling very talkative today, and it was before I drank this crap. I'm scared to drink this whole thing because it tastes so disgusting. All right, PPCB. Are we gonna break 675? Sure fucking hope so. Do something with your life. Waiting. This better not be a fake out. PPCB. Let's drink some more of this nasty shit. Why not? Let's see if it works. Ugh. Ugh. It's like, it tastes like chalk and lotion if you mixed it up in a bowl. It smells a lot better than it tastes. I'll tell you that. Yeah, it smells a lot. Ugh. Ugh. Made my eyes water. I don't know if you can see that. It's not good. It's quite disgusting. All right. Why am I still drinking it? I don't even know. I just don't want to waste it. It sounds like it's probably kind of healthy, and I want to know what it feels like to have a sharper mind and calm energy. Brandon says I look like his older sister. Somebody else said that the other day. Not older sister, but his sister. I don't know what to say to that, except that she must be pretty, of course. Hello, Morris. I guess the reason I haven't gotten off the stream yet is because I'm waiting to see what happens with PPCB. And once I take my profit, maybe I'll take a break and eat some breakfast. I got invited to the beach today, but I don't know if I want to go. My sister's coming this weekend. We'll probably go to the beach with her. I don't like to get too much sun. People are always on here saying I'm red. I'm not red. They always say I look sunburnt. I guess you guys don't know what a sunburn looks like. Because I would tell you if I was sunburnt. I'm not sunburned. Ooh, ooh. Here we go. Here it goes. It just broke. Did it? Oh, I thought it halted for a second. Here we go. We just broke 675. It looks like we could be having a cup and handle here. I'm thinking about increasing my position. I hope it's not a false breakout because that would be really rude. What the hell? All right, we're just gonna take some more. We're just gonna shift 5. I increased my position. Oh wait, it didn't fill. No, wait for me. I want to get involved. Okay. I increased my position in anticipation. Don't fail me. PPCB. Ooh, BATL's coming back up. That's good. So, watching PPCB and BATL. Do I drink this whole thing? How much caffeine is in here? It said it had caffeine. 55 milligrams. Is that a lot? I'm very sensitive to caffeine. I definitely don't want to drink too much. How much does like a Monster or one of those things have? Because I can only drink like a quarter of those things before I'm bouncing off the walls. How much caffeine does a can of Monster usually have? Hello, Puyasha and Nolan. Welcome to the shit show. Oh, okay. Monster usually has like 160 milligrams of caffeine. And if I usually only drink like a quarter to a half, is that a spider? Sure fucking is. It's about to be a dead spider. Let me find something to smush it with. Die. There. It's dead now. I don't have anything to wipe this on. There. Okay. Problem solved. Okay. What was I saying? Caffeine. Like I really need more caffeine. AZI RKDA just popped up. AZI was up earlier. Why am I even looking? I need to be focusing on PPCB right now. We already broke 675. The new high is 679. And now we're going to go to the moon. What was I going to say? Tiny C just followed me on one of my adult platforms. And I think you know what the C word means. All right, let's go back on the 4-hour chart here. What are some levels? Oh yeah, I already looked at the levels. 720. That's right. 725 to 750 and then $10. So I have one sell order at 7:20 and one at 10. And that is my evil plan for PPCB. Volume's good. Volume's good, just as long as it doesn't do anything stupid. 5-minute chart. Okay, we're about to close this 5-minute candle. Can we close above 675, please? How about Micron? That sounds like a very large company that I would not trade. I can look it up for you. What do you want me to look at the chart? I will not trade Micron. That's not something I trade. And I'll tell you why. Oops. MU. 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 Micron. What the fuck? PPCB is coming down now. It was just a little pullback. Let me look at this. Okay. Let me look. MU. Yeah. Remember how I was just talking about float? And that's the number of shares available. And I trade low float stocks, which are under 20 million. Micron has a 1.12 billion share float. That's why I don't trade it. That's a high float stock. I don't trade shit like that. PPCB is coming down. The fuck? What's the 15-minute chart look like? Okay. It's kind of a false breakout there. It went to 679. It did break that 675. And it's not dumping. It's not going all the way down, but it is struggling. I still think there's potential here. We're still getting increasing volume and green candles, so that's good. So I'm going to hang out there for a little while longer. Back to Micron. Micron, if you didn't know, was based in Boise, Idaho. And like I said, it's a very high float stock. Does it have any recent news? It's just random shit that's mentioning it. I don't think there's any significant specific news to this company. 7 o'clock, Micron appoints Bechtel for first phase of New York megafab project. Okay, so there's a few news articles that mention Micron. I mean, it is a very large company. Oops. Let me look at the chart. Yeah. This is a $900 stock. This is not something I would trade. I can't even tell you how you would trade the stock. It doesn't fit my trading style. I'll say that it has 3 15-minute candles that are green. The chart looks very weird. You know, this moves like maybe 1 or 2% per 15 minutes. That's not a stock I would trade. I'm looking for a stock that moves like 20% in a minute. That's why I wouldn't trade it. Good morning again, Paxton. Do I trade momentum or do reversals? Momentum. Momentum is my thing. Sometimes, occasionally, I'll trade a reversal, but I'm not great at them, and I don't always. I'm not good at identifying when exactly the reversal is happening. So there's been times where I'll trade a stock at what I think is the bottom, and then it keeps going lower, and I lose money. So that's why I don't do reversals very often. I feel like momentum stocks are a lot more straightforward. My morning is going well so far, except that I'm drinking this really bad tasting shit. DSY TGHL. DSY. I saw this one yesterday. I think this is a Chinese one, if I remember correctly. Regardless, it has no volume, so I'm not trading it. And WTO is another one that keeps popping up. U-time. And if you see me squinting a lot, it's because I ran out of eye gel like a week ago. I had LASIK many years ago and I have to sleep with ointment in my eyes every night. Otherwise, my eyes get blurry. And that's why I'm having trouble seeing today. WTO and very dry. I have very bad dry eye. WTO is indeed Chinese. I knew it. Very low float, 0.97 million. That is a very tiny float. Vihari. This is exactly the type of person I was talking about earlier who comes in asking all these complex trading questions. I am not here to teach day trading stocks. I do not claim to know everything about the stock market or trading stocks. He's asking if I've back tested any trading strategy. I feel like there are a lot of traders who come in my chat and try to like challenge me and ask me all these like detailed questions. Look, I just use my strategy because it works for me. No, I don't sit here and back test a fucking strategy. If you want to do that, go do that on your own time. I'm not going to answer questions like that. It's just kind of annoying, to be honest. I don't claim to be a professional trader. I'm just here talking about the stocks I'm trading. If you want to chat about stocks, we can. But don't sit here and ask me how much money I make or detailed questions. I do not profess to be a professional day trader educator. If you're looking for that, then there are probably lots of other channels on YouTube that are much better. And I put some of them on my playlist, so you can go check them out. I'm not quite sure what to do about PPCB here. Like, I feel like it almost had a false breakout there where it did reach a new high, but it didn't keep going, and that makes me a little nervous. However, it's not dropping down. It's holding at least 460. So I think we could just be having a long handle if this is a cup and handle. So I don't want to give up on it just yet, but it's definitely not doing what I would like to see it doing. Like to see whatever. Axel says your wisdom comes with your age. Are you saying that I will get more wise as I get older, or that I am wise because I'm older? I'm confused by your statement. KUST just popped up on my scanner. We will check that out while I'm waiting for PPCB to figure its shit out. KUST. Yeah, I ordered some more ointment. It hasn't come in yet, but I'm needing it. Sometimes I get eye infections if I go too long without it. And it's definitely starting to affect my vision, which is very annoying. KUST. KUST. Custom entertainment based in the US. A very tiny float, a high short float, 0.57 million share float, 9% short float, based in Kansas. It's one state I've never been to. Peace PCB is coming back up. Is it just teasing me again, or is it actually gonna fucking break out? That's what I need to know. Axel says he confirms that I'm wise because I am older. You know what? I have to say that I feel like I would call myself an old soul. I feel like I've always been kind of more mature and like a calm personality. You know, some people just act like you could consider them a new soul. They just act like new to life in general. And I feel like I'm a little bit more of an old soul. SP Chef went through all the trouble of subscribing to my channel and waiting just so he could come in my room and say that I look very unapproachable and that I ever think that asking me if I ever think I'll get rid of my RBF. Why would I want to? Because most of the people on my channel who are submissive men actually enjoy my RBF. And I think it's extremely pathetic that you waited all that time and went through all that effort just to come in here and troll me. I hope things get better for you. I truly do. Because you seem kind of like a miserable person. Peter says, I think you look approachable. They're just insecure men. Well, I appreciate you saying that. I have heard many times throughout my life that do have an intimidating presence about me. I know that I have RBF. I think he's probably right about that. I just think it's hilarious that he went through all the trouble of trying to come in my room just to insult me and say some rude shit. Or he's too stupid to realize that what he said is rude. Either way, it's not good for him. Paxton says, did I miss the trip update? Is the update that you're taking me? Paxton is one of the people I mentioned earlier who said he wants to come on the trip to carry my bags and such. And I'm not going to lie to you, that sounds like it would be really lovely. The update on the trip is that I did finish booking all of my accommodations last night. 18 different places that I'm staying. And, if I knew you better, I know that we've chatted like via video chat, but, I still don't know you. I'm not very comfortable traveling with someone I don't know. I don't really like a whole lot of people as it is, just being honest. And I think it would be challenging to travel with another person, period, much less the type of trip that I'm doing. So I appreciate your offer, and maybe at some point that might be an option. Maybe if we meet in person at some point and I get to know you a little bit better, that could be an option. But for this trip, I'm going to have to decline. And he said he's good at walking dogs too. Yes. Although my little doggy doesn't tolerate very long walks anymore because he's, old. Any interest in traveling to Texas ever? Well, I did mention that this is just the hopefully first of many road trips. What I would like to do is kind of like continuously do this. I mean, maybe I'll get back from this trip and say I'm never fucking doing that again. But I do like going new places. And this is another reason I've been trying to transition away from my career so that I have more flexibility to with day trading and with financial domination. I can do those anywhere. So that's one of the things that was appealing to me about both. Um, so that would be my goal, is to do more road trips like this. My next one, I think I would like to do the West Coast, even though I did live there for a long time. I love the West Coast. All of California, Northern California, Southern California. I've never been up to the Northeast part of the country. I think the furthest I went was Eureka, California, which is kind of up near Oregon. PPCB is coming back up. Maybe it'll actually break out this time. We'll see. Spider-Man says, come to Missouri. After the West Coast trip, I am interested in possibly doing a Midwest tour, if you will. And, at some point I'm sure I'll go back to Texas. Sarek says, I guess my compliment ruined any interaction. That's okay. I understand. I wish you well. Good luck and take care. I don't even remember what your comment was. Were you the one that made the comment about the RBF? Because that was definitely not a compliment. And if you think that I see every comment that people post on my channel, I don't. I've said many, many, many times, and I guess I'll have to say it again. If you are so desperate for my attention, you can always send your comment with a super chat and it will get priority. Super chats allow your comments to come through in a big colored block and they're impossible for me to miss. Otherwise, I check the chat when I can, especially in the mornings when I'm live streaming, because as you can see, I'm not even looking at the screen because I'm watching a chart over here and over here. So I'm not always staring right at my screen. I don't see every comment. I check it periodically. Don't get your panties in a wad, as they say. PPCB is coming back up. It just hit my scanner, so that's a good sign. Maybe it'll pop up on other people's scanners. Why am I spitting? John says Wyoming and Yellowstone. I would love to go to Wyoming. Actually, Montana. Oh, why did I even open it? I've opened it twice and not drank it. It just has such a foul odor. Somebody just messaged me. I will get back to your message if you only if you've sent tribute. If you do not include in tribute with your message, I probably won't even read it. Just so you know, whoever just sent that. Costa Rica. I would love to go to Costa Rica. I've never been. Collar Papillion says, "Hi goddess, how are you doing? Have you stopped live streaming on the T platform?" So I guess you're not aware of what happened with that platform. I was suspended off that platform. And the reason I was suspended is because they told me that something along the lines of they accused me of purchasing bits with a stolen card. Um, the only thing I can think of, and I've never bought bits, I've never sent bits to another creator. So the best thing that I can think of is that because I had a new account, maybe in the past there's been people who create new accounts and then will use stolen credit cards to send money to the new account and then cash it out. So that would be a form of fraud. So I guess they just assumed that that's what I was engaging in, even though like I have no control over who's sending me money or what kind of card they're using when they send me money. So yeah, I've been suspended because of that. So I appealed it and I haven't heard anything back. So I have no idea what's going to happen with that. I've never heard of anything like that happening on any platform. And honestly, it's a very bad look for that platform, in my opinion. I can't believe that they fucking did that. I literally didn't do anything wrong. Hadn't even received my first payout. I had many people sending me money and never seen a dollar of that money because they suspended me for no fucking reason. I didn't do anything. Accusing me of purchasing bits with a stolen card, even though had never purchased bits, would never use a stolen card. I won't even use, like, I have subs who will try to send me credit card information. I would never fucking do that. I know some women do. Some women will take a card that a sub has given them and spend money on it. I would never fucking do that because, that could be considered fraud. Which platform? I don't know if I can say it on here. I'm streaming on another platform and they kick me off anytime I mention another platform. I'm just going to say T to the W to the itch. And hopefully that makes sense. Dan says, "Hi goddess, that hair is gorgeous." I think my hair looks like shit, but thank you for that. West LA says, "Yeah, now that's bad." What do you mean? What I just told you about my story about how I got suspended? Is that what you're talking about? Or are you saying something else is bad? Hello, footstool. Color Papillion is sad. I'm sad too. I was just starting to grow on that platform. I was just starting to get a following. I was thrilled to be on there. I was looking forward to growing, but honestly, that put a bad fucking taste in my mouth. West LA says, "I have a bad T." No, I meant receiving card info from people. Okay, I see. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about what I mentioned, how some women will take cards that subs give them and use it. Yeah, I don't think it's very smart, but I hear people doing it all the time. There's a lot of shit I hear people doing, and I'm like, you're fucking crazy if you're doing that. Like, do you not realize A, that that's illegal? B, that you could, you know, be arrested or like have a criminal background for the shit that you're doing? For example, the whole B male, black, M, B male, if you know what I'm talking about. A lot of people who engage in that, like, it's extortion and that's illegal. Like, and I see people all the time posting people's social security numbers and all their info and this and just that's and that's a big kink that a lot of people have. Like I have people approaching me all the time that want me to engage in that shit. And I'm sorry, like I just one, I'm not interested in it. It doesn't interest me. And two, I'm not willing to risk my like how do you say it? My non-criminal history, my good citizenship, just because somebody has a kink for something like that. No, thank you. I'll pass. There's lots of other fun kinks to engage in. You don't have to engage in every um decrepit, like um disgusting thing you see on the internet. But I think a lot of people are just ignorant, they don't know. The other thing I think is really stupid is I personally only use payment platforms that don't reveal my personal information. And I've explained before that I've actually had someone who was able to locate my address and show up at my house when they had my email from having my email. So, I think women who use PayPal and Venmo for payment platforms are not very bright because people can have your first and last name and they can do a lot of things with that information. So, you do what you want, but I personally have very strong limitations when it comes to payments, and that's why. Oh, Footstool says your nails look perfect. Thank you. Footstool loves my fingers. West LA says, yeah, exactly that part. Big no no. You said that you have a bad T. What does that mean? What do you mean by that? I'm curious. Cody says this talk about financial domination and some of these comments is starting to make this stream make more sense. Well, it is the financial domination channel. And I sure hope you're not the Cody that's been on my channel before that's a big fucking troll. Because trolls like to come back under other names. I sure hope you're not that person. West LA says, yeah, you can usually fall into a scheme where you may end up having to go through a blackmail. That's a good way of saying it. Scheme just to save yourself from exposure to law enforcement, aka getting caught in the act. Exactly. And people post shit on the internet like everybody can't see it and like it's not there forever. Like a lot of women that get into financial domination, especially like young women who may not know what they're doing or the consequences of what they're doing, that shit's going to be there forever. Like, even if you're saying something in a sense of that's in a fantasy sense, like you might be talking about financial ruin and bankrupting subs, and you think that's, very lighthearted or whatever. Like, what if a lot of these girls are young, like early 20s or even late teens, and like, what if you want to go to college and get employed someday and people, I don't know, even if maybe you want to work for the government someday and they do research and look you up and see that you've said all this like crazy shit online. Like, I just don't think that's a good idea. Steven says, I want to be a girl. Okay. Yeah, West LA, that's what I was referring to. But you said that you had a bad T witch. Like, what were you talking about? Jesus Christ. Speaking of trolls, let me get rid of this fucktard. I'll never understand why people take the time to leave nasty and hateful and rude comments on anything. Like, what's the fucking point? What joy does it bring you to bring somebody else down? Like, what does that do for you? It's not good for your mental health. That's all I know. And I do realize, with that being said, that I do engage in humiliating subs and that type of thing. But I said this many times before. I only humiliate subs if I know that they enjoy it. And a lot of men do. I'm never going to humiliate somebody who I don't know if they like it, or if they tell me that they don't like it. I'll never understand people that take pleasure in doing that to people who don't enjoy it. Ah. Cody says, for absolutely nothing. What are you talking about? Good morning, Peter. All right, I'm still waiting on PPCB. It could just be having a long handle. Volume still looks good. It does look like it's forming this little pendant thing as a handle. So I do still think there's potential. I'm still in it, but I'm getting quite bored. How long do I have to wait? Let me draw some lines. Oh, it looks like it should break out either way soon. So in the next 5 minutes, I should have an answer. Paxton says, well, if you ever come to Texas, I'll show you around. Well, you do know I did live in Austin for a year, and I have absolutely no desire to go back there. But I think you said you live in Northeast Texas. Good morning, CJ. Welcome. West LA says, miserable people need more miserable friends to partake. Anyways, do you do minute or penny stocks? Sorry, first time seeing you. No worries. I'll get to that in a second. French Fry says, you are doing lots of good for men. I feel in ways you are helping men by dominating them. Look, I didn't mean to pop my knuckle, but it felt kind of good. How do I say this? Let me answer West LA's question first, because that's a little bit easier to answer. And then I'll get to French Fry's question, because I want to answer that too. PPCB, it looks like it's breaking out of the wedge right now, though. So hold on. You're going to have to hold that thought. It better be a real breakout this time, you fuck. West LA says miserable people need more miserable friends to partake. I would also add that hurt people hurt other people. So people that, whatever reason, were hurt early in life, or they're just insecure and hate the world for whatever reason, for some reason find joy in trying to tear other people down. It's pathetic, and it's unfortunate, because you could be spending that energy doing good things and building people up instead of tearing them down. But I do feel sorry for them. Okay, here we go. PPCB breaking out. Ugh! False breakout again. Are you kidding me? The fuck? We got to 671 and then pulled back. It didn't drop like a rock, but somebody is trying to bring this shit down. Speaking of tearing things down, what a turd. Or turds, plural. It's probably multiple turds. I'm getting aggravated. We have 2 minutes and 30 seconds for this to break one way or another. To answer French Fry's comment, he says, you are doing lots of good for men, and I feel in ways you are helping men by dominating them. So, although, as I've mentioned before, I know I have an intimidating presence, I do humiliate men who enjoy humiliation, and that can be confusing for some people. Additionally, most financial dominatrixes that I've seen, from what I've seen on the internet, I shouldn't say most, a lot do not have good intentions. A lot of them do just want money, and they don't give a shit about their subs. There are some who do, but a lot of them, that's what I've seen. My purpose on this earth, and I've mentioned this before, is to help people. And it may not make any sense to some people how I could possibly do that as a financial dominatrix, but I believe that in a lot of situations, people utilizing kink to, what's the word I'm looking for? Play out trauma or fantasies or urges that they have can be healthy as long as it's done in moderation and in a safe way, always respecting boundaries and limitations. And I know a lot of financial submissives don't like to hear that. They'd seek out the most what's the word I'm looking for? Not degraded, not decrepit, but like deranged and cruel doms that they can find because they really seek out that like intense humiliation, and I think that's a problem, and I think that's not very smart for subs to do that personally. Man, we're at the end of the 5-minute candle and this thing is still holding out in this little wedge. Okay, we're gonna give it a few more minutes. I'm getting really hungry. I'd like to go eat breakfast now, but I'm still waiting on this crap. Anywho, um, like I said, my goal is to help people. So engaging in kink, I always encourage my subs to do things safely. I'm never going to have somebody do something that I feel is unsafe. Um, I always tell people to tell me their limits and boundaries and to respect those limits and boundaries. I only engage with people who are willing to respect my boundaries as well, although I do frequently have people who try to push them, which is super fucking annoying and disrespectful, but whatever. And I do obviously enjoy the psychology of domination and along those lines, manipulation. I do enjoy manipulating people, and I know that sounds bad, but I have learned how to manipulate people for good. And I know that may not sound, that sounds a little weird, but it's true. Like, especially when I'm working with my patients, I guess that's where I've kind of learned it from. I've learned about a lot about psychology, how to get people to trust me. But I'm only manipulating people for good. I'm not manipulating people to harm them. That's just not in my nature. That's not who I am as a person. So, if you're looking for an incredibly cruel and sadistic person to manipulate you, I am not that person. Okay, now it's breaking down. Fuck. This is annoying. PPCB. I'm going to give it another minute or two, but it's not looking good. It looked like it was breaking out there for a minute, but it looked like a false breakout. And now I don't know what the fuck it's doing. All right, let me check the chat. I got distracted. French Fry says, "You're an artist. I thought this quickly in what you do." Thank you for that. Hello, Magic Man. He says, "I hope your day is going well. So far, so good, except I haven't even eaten breakfast yet because I'm too busy watching this stupid stock that won't figure its life out." Wet Wizards. That's an interesting name. Do you care to share what your LLC is? Because I'm too lazy to look at your profile, but I'm curious. Says, "I've had a girlfriend who dominated me all the time. We broke up, and ever since then, I can never find a girl like that again without it just being hookups. Such an awesome lifestyle to have with someone." Well, have you joined F Life? I don't know if I can say the whole platform here without. Hold on, can I mute this? Can I mute it? Do you know what F Life is? You can go to a munch, you can find people in the BDSM community and maybe find someone, although it's not easy. What you're looking for is more like a lifestyle dom, and my understanding is there's not too many of those, and they have lots of options with subs, so it's hard to find somebody who is not doing it professionally for money or when there's money involved. But that would be my suggestion for you. Yes, Paxton Bear said the website that I'm talking about. Motherfucker. Um, Yes, West LA. I agree. Let me get rid of this asshole. Have a nice life. Aw, Peter says, "You're literally my weekly therapy. I'm so sorry you have to deal with that." I appreciate that. Mm. Peter named another website. Yes. I haven't heard of people having much results with that though. Just so you know. The one that starts with the C. But I have heard of that. I do know that it can be very, I mentioned this before in the teacher role play that I did the other day that I believe I used to think that women had to be naturally dominant to be like a dominatrix, but I've since changed my mind about that. I do think a lot of women, what I said in the role play was that all women are goddesses, but a lot of women just don't realize that they have power. I think a lot of women aren't aware of how our society has kind of taught us to act a certain way and how to respond to men and other people um in situations. And a lot of, even though like I have always been a very assertive person for the most part, doing financial domination has definitely made me realize just how much power I have as a woman, and working in clubs did that too, honestly. And I think a lot of women just aren't aware of how much power we have as women. Some do, and some people don't use it for good, but you know. iRush says, "Madam, your teacher roleplay video is coming." Well, I have the live stream from the day before yesterday. I do that live stream every Tuesday at 5 p.m. All right, I'm gonna downsize my position because this is not looking good with PPCB. So I'm just gonna take part of my excuse me, close part of my position here. Mm, I don't know. This one is so tricky. Do I want to close it? Do I not want to? Let me see the 15-minute chart. I just don't know. I've made this little wedge and it looks like it's kind of breaking down from the wedge a little bit. But it's not breaking down quickly, so I still think it could recover. But there are some bigger volume red candles, but the level 2 looks good. I'm getting conflicting indicators. That's why I don't know what to do. West LA says sell the whole thing. I'm tempted to sell half just so it's not as large of a position. So if it does drop, I don't lose a lot of money. Let's do that. We're going to close half just to be on the safe side. And it will be for a little bit of a loss. Oops. Where's. Okay. So I'm half out. Just not too sure about this. It was looking really good there for a while, and then it had a couple false breakouts. You know what? As I'm talking, it is going down more. I'm going to get out. I can always get back in if it does break out, since we don't have any more PDT issues. Okay, I'm out. Now, hello, Lotta Girl. Lotta Girl. French Fry says women are the most powerful gender in today's modern world, in my opinion. Um, in some ways, yes. In some ways, no. I feel like people are trying to suppress women in this age and time, especially in this country right now. And like I said, I just don't think a lot of women realize that they do have power. So, okay. Now, I am an hour past the normal time that I stream because I just wouldn't shut up. So I think we'll probably, I still haven't eaten breakfast. It's 11 o'clock. That's too late for eating breakfast. So I need to figure out what I'm going to eat. Ooh, I just thought about making a pancake bowl. No, I'm doing eggs with mushrooms. That's what I decided. I need to use my mushrooms up. Um, so I'm gonna go make breakfast. Today is Thursday, so we will have the live stream at 9 p.m. this evening. We will do a weekly update. I will again talk about my trip. You're probably gonna get sick of hearing about it, but I'm very excited about it. So we will discuss that and an update for the channel. I will try to work on maybe a hypnosis video today. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Don't forget to like the live stream, subscribe to the channel, blah, blah, blah. I'll see you at 9 p.m. Bye.